Hey guys, it's a beautiful day. We are walking to the thrift store because you guys wanted to see me do more book thrifting vlogs, and I'm going to deliver. Cherry blossoms are happening. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm so excited to go to the thrift store. I haven't gone in a long time, and my theory is that if I don't go in a long time, they get rid of all the books that I usually see. Like if I go every weekend, I'm usually seeing like the same books. But if I stop for a little bit, they will get rid of all the books and I will be welcomed with only new books. I'm sure this theory isn't true, but I do think there is some truth to it. Like if a book has been on the shelf for a very long time, they probably will get donated to like Goodwill bins or Goodwill outlet, which is like the second last stop or something before it gets into the landfill. So I do think I'm onto something. Anyways, right off the bat, I'm seeing a lot of books that I know or from authors that I know. Like I'll Give You the Sun. I've heard of this one since college and I've never picked it up, but it's on my radar. I just don't know if I'll get to it. Maybe I'll pick up an audiobook soon. But I'm seeing a lot of familiar titles like The Girl on the Train, which is a Goodwill classic. I see this every single time I go. And I'm seeing a lot of familiar authors, which is exciting, like Jill Chavez. I've definitely heard of this author before, but never read a book from her. This book is a Goodwill classic for me by now. I see it every single time I go. I always look at it, but I never really pick it up. Right here, I'm missing a book, One of Us is Next, which is part of the One of Us is Lying series or trilogy. I don't know what it is, but I totally miss it. I just like passed by it and then never pulled it out, which I totally would have like thought about getting because I've always been interested in the series. But I did find Clap When You Land, which I've seen all over my book talk. I heard it's really good, so I'm excited for it. There's The Vanishing Half, which is a book of the month book, and I saw this one was $6.99. I'm a little confused because books are usually like at most $4.99 at Goodwill, and usually if it's $4.99 it'll be like on the day of like the 50% off sale, so I don't know what this one was doing. Anyways, I gotta put my book in the cart, and then moving on to the next shelf. When I'm book thrifting, I am judging every cover, every book spine by its cover. Just because there's so many books to go through, and yes, every book has potential to be read, but when there's this many, I just get really overwhelmed. So I am just pulling out all the spines, all the covers, all the titles that look the most interesting to me. Like this one, Guts, it reminded me of Olivia Rodrigo, so I pulled it out. So I love me a good colorful spine like this one by Emma Straub. I think Emma Straub owns a bookstore in New York. I might be lying, but I think it's called like Books Are Magic or something like that. I remember, but I don't know if it's this author in specific. Anyways, my camera got a little blurry, but I promise you it will focus. Sometimes I accidentally click random buttons when I'm filming because I just don't pay attention. So now we're back. I found The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. This is a summery read, very lighthearted. I think it's Closed-Door is what I remember, but it's been a while since I read it. And then Bad Moms. I have seen like clips of this movie and I think it's so funny and entertaining. So I didn't know it was based off a book, or I didn't know like vice versa. Maybe they wrote the book after the movie. Seems a little weird, but it could happen. Anyways, here's me in my little cart. It was very hot in this thrift store, I think because it was hot outside and then inside they just didn't turn on the AC or something, but it was freaking hot. Looking through some more books, Harper Lee is always there, specifically at this thrift store. Like sometimes I don't see Harper Lee anywhere else, but this one always has at least 3 copies. I found The Goldfinch. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what this is about, but I've definitely seen it before. It has a Pulitzer Prize, it's a winner, but I don't know what it's about. I just heard so many things about it. Anyways, thank you so much guys for recommending me to go to a thrift store. I haven't gone book thrifting in a long time. I used to go to the thrift store a lot, and I think it built this habit of overconsumption just because in my head I was like, yeah, the thrift store is so cheap, I'll get it. I mean, what's $2? What's $3? And the next thing you know, I just have a bunch of stuff, like way too many books that I will probably never read, or like I won't read anytime soon, and then I forget like the library's there and stuff. And so I tried to hold back a bit, but now that I'm back, I'm like, just looking at books is so fun. I don't have to get them. I can be strict on myself, but just the act of looking at books is really fun. Now we're at the romance section. I never ever look at the romance section at a thrift store just because it's mainly like the mini paperbacks and there's usually nothing that I fancy. I usually look in the fiction and then the young adults. This is the young adults. They had this whole series like book 1, 2, and 3, which is really cool. I think it's like Greek mythology fantasy situation. Not my cup of tea personally, but very, very fun. And I love seeing series at the thrift store because it's like a whole thing. And then there was a manga sampler to be specific. I threw it in the cart just in case my cousin wanted it. I have no idea what it's about. I just know he really likes anime and mangas. And so I always like to hold them and take pictures and send it to him just in case. But I don't know what it's about. Always and Forever Lara Jean. Love this series. So cute, so fluffy and romantic. It is a thrift store classic at this point just because it's been out for like over a decade. But I do really think it's cute. And Peter Kavinsky to the end. I found some more mangas. I always think mangas are so cool to look at the thrift store because they're rarely ever there. And when I do see them, it's usually like 1 or 2. But I feel like with mangas, you read them so fast because there's a lot of images and you like usually people who have mangas, they collect the whole series. And so just to find one, I mean, like, did you not like that one specific book or like what happened, you know? Here's another series. It's a young adult. It's called Zombie or Zoom. I don't really know how you pronounce it, but interesting. And then this is really, really cool, guys. There was a collab with this book with Elf the makeup brand. Elf is like now a big thing. I mean, it's everywhere. It's all over Target. They have so many dupes. But back then, they were like a Dollar Tree classic. And they had genuinely like 50 cents to $3 maximum products. And so I was like, wow, they collabed with this book. And what like an interesting duo. I wish they brought this back. Like I feel like this would really pop off and then someone on TikTok would be like, this is the best marketing campaign of all times. But I don't know, is that a reach? I just think it's really cool because it merges some of my favorite things like beauty and books, and I just think it's really cool. Now I'm in the younger grade reader or early reader. I think it's like middle grade, but I'm seeing a lot of graphic novels that I used to read in middle school. This one was really cool. I thought the graphics in this were absolutely phenomenal. Another book from To All the Boys I Love series. Once again, thrift store classic, but very, very cool. Funny story about this book, the series of unfortunate events. I read this book as like a read aloud back in, I want to say 2nd grade or something around that, like elementary school years, and I never understood it. Like the librarian would read it and I would just sit there for that like 15 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever. I have no concept of time, especially when I was a kid. Like I would just listen to her move her mouth and like words were coming out, but I did not comprehend a single word of that story. And she would read, like I think we got all the way to like book 8 or something. And I was like, wow, this is taking forever. Anyways, now I'm going through some of my selection, some of the finds. I'm showing you guys some of the books that I found today. I look so sweaty because genuinely it was so hot in there. I think it was hotter in store than it was outside, it's great. That's so fantastic. Love that for me. A lot of really good books. Some of these like I've heard on Book Talk and they're trending and they're popular. I think one of them, Sydney Sweeney, is a producer for. Is that true? I might be lying. Hey guys, I'm leaving the thrift store. My legs hurt because I kept on having to bend over because the bookshelves are so low here. So now my knees hurt and I didn't really walk around much or shop around much because it was just very hot in there. I think because it's Sunday and that means that they're changing the colors. So it was just like very packed and overstimulating. And so there was no AC and it was really hot, so I left. But I did see a bunch of cool books and that was the goal. So we did exactly what we came to do. I'm gonna take the long way home now because I want to enjoy the sun while I still have it because it could rain tomorrow, but knock on wood.